This is an example of fractional factorial data analysis. I'm going to show you how to analyze fractional factorial data. Now, the design is very complicated. If you want to understand, or I'll post a link of this documents in the openeducator.com. This is the details about that design. However, this video will discuss how to analyze fractional factorial data. It doesn't really change much in terms of analysis. So you basically, if you remember the goal of fractional factorial design, this is a screening design of experiment. So you try to, so this is the nine variables that are presumably affecting the student performance. So it's probably not all these 9 variables are significantly affecting the student performance. So in a fractional factorial design, we want to basically screen out the insignificant variables. So all we need to do in the first step, we run the main effects of this design. So I have copied this data in Minitab, and basically you run just an ANOVA. Now, one of the mistakes students all the time do when they're asked these questions on the design of experiment, they always start here, but you're not designing anything here. The design is done, the data collection is also done. In this case, you're only analyzing the data. So all you need to do, go to basically run the analysis of variance. So generalized linear model, response is the GPA, student performance, and I have about 9 variables. You can look at the models, only includes the main effect. That's all I want in this case. I want to see, do I really care about any of these variables or not? So if you look at the analysis, only A and B factors are significant. Everything else is not really significantly affecting the student performance. Now, if you go to A and B, there was the amount of study student do and the amount of exercise they do. So factor A was a study, how high or low they study, and then factor B is the how high or low they do their exercise. In the next step, you rerun the analysis using the full model. Now I know that all the other factors are not really, I don't really care about them. So I go to Stat, ANOVA. In this next run, step number 2, I only include the variables, those are significant. So I'll just include that. And because I have 16 runs with 2 variables, I have 4 replications. So I can actually test the full model with interaction as well. If I run this, then I can see here the interaction is also significant. And the next step is to run the post-hoc analysis. So go there, ANOVA, general linear model, comparison. You can leave everything as it is. 2 key is okay. Post-hoc analysis. So if you look at this post-hoc table, that the student who does high level of exercise, high level of study, they do very well. Their GPA is basically 4 out of 4. Now, just a little disclaimer, I made up this data set. It is easier to explain a theory by making a made up data set. If you go to the openeducator.com, there are a lot of data basically they're kind of made up because it's easier to understand the theory using this. So if you look at the openeducator.com, most of the example data set I have used to explain theories, they are kind of made up, but you can think of this as an actual situation. Now come back to the data analysis. So step number 1, run the analysis using only the main effect, rerun the analysis using the significant variables, and then run the post-hoc analysis and draw conclusions. Now in this case, we'll see that both high level of study, high level of exercise provides the highest performance, and then the those who don't do exercise, don't study well, performs the least. However, basically there is no difference between, if you don't study, it doesn't really matter whether you do exercise or not, they both equally performs the worst. So this would be the explanation for this output. Now, it doesn't really change anything. If you look at the analysis, those of you who have done the earlier modules, so this question is on module 7, we basically did run ANOVA in module 2. So this is what you need to do the fractional factorial analysis. Now, if you want to know how to create this design, so this is the design details. I'll post a link to this piece in the openeducator.com. And if you want to know the details of how you can create that, you probably have to start with module 4 all the way up to module 7. And all of these videos, they're kind of hierarchical. So if you don't understand blocking confounding in 2K design, you won't be able to do the next module. Now, if you already have a DOE, you probably just be fine without even watching this video. But if you don't have DOE, depends on how comfortable you are. I would say you can go all the way from module 1 to the module 7. I'll post this video link right here so you can have an example of how to analyze fractional factorial design data.